Bear with me this week as our video takes a little bit of an unusual turn in that, yes, as I mentioned before, we went on vacation to Norway and also to the city of Bruges in Belgium, but it takes a little bit of explaining how we got here. It starts with my best friend, with my sister, some tragedy in the family, a little bit of her story about her creation of her adventure group, and that's how we ended up getting into Norway on this trip with my wife Peggy and with Tim and his wife Lori. So bear with us this week. We'll give some construction updates on what happened while we were gone, and hopefully then we can resume our normal construction-oriented video after this. The story starts with one of my best friends in the world, Tim McLean. We went to high school together at Lincoln East High School. This picture taken back in 1983. Tim grew up, we separated our ways obviously after high school and college, and Tim lived in Wisconsin and then ended up in Florida. But we always dreamed about maybe doing something together, even though we weren't close. From a physical perspective, we hadn't seen each other too many times over the years. We decided that maybe we would go on an adventure. And so we settled on Machu Picchu, and we were going to go there. We had it all arranged. We were actually going to go with my sister's adventure group, which offered trips to Machu Picchu. And then COVID hit, and we were not able to go. So the trip was canceled, and we had this credit sitting there with my sister's adventure company. Here the story turns to my sister Michelle, the youngest of my 4 sisters, pictured here with her husband Mitch. Mitch was a great guy, fun to be around, lots of laughs, enjoyed life, and enjoyed adventure. And tragically, one day we got a call. Mitch had passed away in a small plane crash, leaving Michelle alone to raise 2 small children. That is where Michelle's story, she turned it into something positive. She came up with a business called One Fit Widow, focused on exercise and nutrition and helping other people through the grieving process through exercise and through healthy living. And as part of that, Mitch and Michelle had always had a bucket list, and Mitch was very much a person who wanted to live his list, and Michelle decided to honor that. Somewhere along the way, Michelle met Keith, who had also lost his best friend tragically in a small plane crash as well. And the 2 of them got married, and along the way they turned their One Fit Widow site into the More Adventure site and focused on the adventure portion of living the list and living life to the fullest. And that is where Tim and I had our credit for Machu Picchu, is with the More Adventure group. You can go there and look for yourself, but when you look at their adventures, Machu Picchu was one of them. It looked like a great idea. Just COVID hit and the timing wasn't right. Therefore, when Tim and I were talking, I decided that Peggy also wanted to go on a trip. Tim's wife Lori also wanted to go on a trip, and we settled on Norway as one of the adventures that we would use this credit for. And that's how we ended up going on an adventure with my best friend and his wife and my wife, and with my sister Michelle and Keith to Norway. So flying out of Denver, we headed off to Frankfurt, our first layover, and then from Frankfurt on to Oslo. Oslo, Norway, the capital of Norway. It has lots of architecture that's very unique, some great history. It's located at the southern end of Oslo, or southern end of Norway, I might say. Lots of things to see, really friendly people. The weather, it was the wet time of the year when we were there, but The transportation systems are fantastic. Train rides are so smooth. We really enjoyed our stay and the transportation. When we arrived from the train station, we just took in the city center, the sights and the sounds. Like a lot of European countries, their transportation systems are second to none. And of course, there were birds. There were lots and lots of birds. Did I mention there was lots of birds? Yeah, there was a lot of birds. Peggy and I really enjoyed the pastries and the bakeries, and we indulged whenever we could, which was too often. Their central library in Oslo is really something to behold. Great architecture, really unique inside. I recommend stopping there if you have a chance. The Opera House is really something to be seen. An architectural wonder. You can climb to the top of it. In this case, it was a little bit of a rainy day, but we enjoyed it nonetheless. Did I mention they have lots of birds? They have lots of birds. Of course, being right on the water, you would expect that, but it was fun to see. There's Peggy enjoying the view, even with the rain. And she's not a person to enjoy being out in the rain, but she enjoyed it nonetheless. After the Opera House, we decided to take a walk around and see what we could see around the city. Did I mention they have lots of birds? They have lots of birds. Right around from the Opera House was some of the actual city of Oslo, the residential sections. We were just really amazed by the architecture. Such a variety of architecture in this city. Modern, eclectic, you name it. Everything had a very unique design, and we loved it. We thought it was really great. I had to get a picture of Thor's hammer, of course. They had lots of flowers. They were really, really beautiful. Having been a photographer for a portion of my life, I was drawn to the colors. The next day, we headed out on a bus as part of our group adventure up to the top of one of the 7 hills surrounding the city. They are a sister city to Oregon, Portland, Oregon, and which also has 7 hills surrounding it. And we went up to the top to start a hike that we would hike down through the Norwegian woods to meet the bus again and off to the next adventure.
But back then, I didn't understand the concept.
Not the greatest footage in the world, but I wanted to include some of the bus ride up just because some spectacular views. Seeing the clouds across the way, taking in some of the local architecture as we passed through some of the residential buildings as we climbed and climbed towards higher
buy
elevations.
one, or when you get one in a gift from your parents or grandparents. It's telling you something. In Norway, everyone will recognize my dialect from up north. Oh, I got the tip from our driver. You have sheep head that we eat. This sheep head has been smoked.
You see one of the skiers that went down using rollerblades with ski poles coming down. Up towards the top of the hill here is one of their Olympic ski jumps, which is just amazing. And you'll see as we drove past, there are just a number of people there doing skiing using wheels, right? Practicing those alpine skills and muscles in the dry environment before winter. Then we got to our hike, and this was the start of it. It was very beautiful to start. We had some panoramic views of the valley below as we began our hike into the woods.
And so it's 454 square kilometers, the city of Oslo, or border, inside the borders. And we only live in 40% of the city, 60% is forest. And there are actually wolves inside the borders of Oslo. I never see them, I never heard them. They will run away and hide long before. But one day,
animal was that?
wolves.
Wolves.
Yeah. So it's they will not attack us. They are not dangerous. It's never.
There's Tim and my sister Michelle.
That's a rumor from the 1800s. There's not even.
And here's a photo of her smiling face.
And he fell down and he broke his finger. So the warning was, be careful. It's slippery. So especially putting your feet on rocks like this.
Yeah.
This summer has been really good. We had 3 weeks with unnormally hot weather.
There's Peggy out in front, Tim in orange, my sister Michelle in the front row. It was a beautiful day. Didn't rain on us. We had sunshine. And the hike was about 3.5 hours, I believe. I don't know if my camera can properly capture it, but the moss, the greenery that happened everywhere in between the trees. If you just were to look between the trees, the forest, the ground of the forest as it went up the hills and the surrounding mountainous area, all you can see is green on the floor in between those trees. It was truly amazing. I tried to capture some pictures of it. You can see a little bit of it here around the waterfalls, but it was pretty spectacular to see. And the steam coming off of this tree, again, I just thought was really cool. And there's Peggy admiring it as well and waiting for me. Because of my bad knees, I was usually at the tail end of the group. Between that and stopping to take photographs, of course. At the end of the hike, we ended up in a public park that has a beautiful lake where people were kayaking, and we grilled hot dogs, sausages, had coffee, hot cocoa, and some Norwegian delicacies like, well, not a delicacy, but Norwegian food like smoked salmon. Was a wonderful time. We sat around and cooked that and enjoyed that in the park for a while as a group. And that night, Peggy and I went out to dinner, picked a nice little restaurant, got some good beer, and enjoyed our evening. The next day, the group was off to the city of Flem. I hope I pronounced that right. As promised, here's an update on what was happening while we were on vacation. The crew came in to put in the French drain system as well as waterproof the basement, and this was footage provided by them. We'll have more of an update later on that from when we get back and what we saw, what we liked, what we disliked, what needed to be remedied and fixed. But while we were off in Norway, this is what was done. And you can see there the spray right over the fast foot. And if you look closely, you'll see, unfortunately, there really wasn't any wall preparation done prior to the waterproofing, which is an issue that we are going to address in future videos. So there you have it. That's the update for this week. Again, appreciate your patience with the basically vacation video with a little bit of an update at the end. We will have another video on the next city, Flem, Norway. And then after that, we will have the city of Bergen, Norway, and then the city of Bruges in Belgium. And then we'll return to our normal construction updates on our build. Thank you again. Appreciate you guys following along.